If you ever feel confused or unsure about what someone's intentions are when you go on a date, after you hear this story, you won't feel so bad. So I was hired to be stunts for a music video. We were shooting in Beverly Hills, and it was pretty simple. Essentially, the main person was singing on camera, and we were standing next to a pool, so you had all these models that were hanging out by the pool, and then there's me who would do a flip here and there, and something cool to have in the background. And there was this one gal on set who was modeling, and honestly, I didn't think anything of it. I felt like she was out of my league. A super pretty gal. And, her and I talked a little bit on set, but like I said, nothing came of it. She seemed really friendly, and that was about it. Well, naturally, like most actors do after a shoot, we exchange information, get each other's Instagrams, things like that. And over the next few weeks, she'd message me here and there, like respond to a story or just hit me up out of the blue. And again, me being not so bright and just thinking that she was out of my league, I didn't think anything of it. I thought she was just being friendly. About a month later, we finally made plans to hang out. She hit me up to go to the zoo, and so I was like, cool, well, let's do it. I get there, and throughout the day, we're having a good time. Admittedly, I felt a little awkward because I was like, oh my God, this person is way too attractive to hang out with. I was also in my early 20s, and I'm cringe now, but I was way more cringe back then. But that didn't seem to stop her because we finished the day. I'll never forget this. We were out in the parking lot, and we were just saying goodnight, and it was great hanging out. And right as I was about to step away, I don't remember what I was wearing at the time. I think it was like a flannel with a shirt. She grabs me by the shirt. Oops, I don't want to grab the mic. By the shirt and pulled me in for a kiss. It was like a teen movie scene. So needless to say, my confidence and ego were greatly boosted after that evening. And the crazy part is, we ended up hanging out the rest of the week. So it was around the time of Thanksgiving. So I actually went to her place for Thanksgiving. She went to the gym I trained at for parkour and free running, basically where I practice stunts. Remember, she's an actress, so she has background in martial arts and stunt training and all that stuff. So she's a total badass when we went. And then the day after that, she went to the field where I play paintball. So just like all these boxes are just getting checked back to back to back. And I went from, oh yeah, this person isn't interested in me, to I think I've met my wife. And that is the part where I screwed up big time. So after we spend all of this time together, I think remember that part earlier where I said I was super awkward? I think I started alluding to the idea of a relationship too quickly. But after spending this much time with a person, I didn't think it would be that odd, to be willing to do all of my hobbies in the span of a week was just, it seemed above and beyond. So after that last day of paintball, she ghosted me. Not like outright where she just stopped responding completely, like disappeared. I feel like the responses got slower and slower, and then I started to wonder what was going wrong, and eventually just nothing happened. And I was pretty distraught, like super distraught. I went from absolutely ecstatic each and every day to utterly heartbroken. It was so bad one day. I remember driving to work, and I had to call my boss on the way to work and tell her I couldn't come in that day because I was on the freeway. I'll never forget this image. And I was telling myself, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. And then my body just went completely numb. Completely numb, started crying, but not just crying, like, I don't know how to describe it. And I had to call out of work. My mom actually came and found me parked in just some random parking lot trying to console me while another friend of mine was on the phone with me at the time. So I was really, really upset. I ended up going to a therapy session at this point because, I don't know, I'd never been affected by a date that much. So whatever, maybe I was hypersensitive at the time and I needed that experience to toughen up a little bit. But, if you are having a hard time either with a breakup or you're going on a date and you're dealing with rejection, it's okay. It sucks. It really does suck. And you kind of just got to roll with the punches. You never know someone until you take that risk, you become a little vulnerable with them, and sometimes you get bitten for it. And that's okay, because it's a game, right? You fail a bunch of times and you don't question the failures other than looking for the mistakes you made so you can correct them, obviously. You don't look at the mistakes as an inherent representation of you as a human being, like you being a bad person. You use them as an opportunity to improve, and then you go in again. You got to keep going back in, because as soon as you give up and say, oh yeah, this was too awful, I can't do this ever again, then you're just going to kind of live in that negative feeling. You want to take the punch and then shake it off and jump back in the ring. That's how this stuff goes. Not long after that date, I was in the best relationship of my life. And that's a whole other story that I can talk about. But it's almost 6 a.m. right now, so I'm going to start my day. I hope you have an awesome one, and thank you for listening to my story. Talk to you later.